guess what? Once it's Friday morning, I get excited knowing full well that Perspective will be coming on and I'll be on the show to reach out to you, my viewer. Good morning and welcome. Thanks for joining us on Perspectives on OSRC television. I hope you had a very lovely night rest. Unfortunately, you won't be able to reply me, but that's a rhetorical question. And as I believe, as I woke up on the right side of the bed this morning, excited, eager, and ready to dish it out to you on Perspectives. Welcome on board. My name is Remy Allen. I've got the ladies, I call them my ladies, the Oyibos, the white ladies. I told them this morning that now they make my darkness come out too much because I'm surrounded with whites. I'm so sad. I love the smile.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What you said is actually so funny. You said we are making your darkness to come out.
Come out. You know, people would answer, oh, she's dark. And it's not like that. I'm not like I'm that dark. I can pass for a chocolate color, can't I?
Coffee chocolate.
You said coffee chocolate.
That's another one. Welcome.
Yeah, this reminds me of a program. Whenever I have guests, it's always an issue with the lighting because now when they focus the light on me, it's perfect. But when they focus it on the guest, the guest is dark, it's perfect.
But when they come,
I now look
the light of the
white.
world.
So we're trying to tune it down, but tuning it down will make the guest way dark. So we're like, how to we do this?
Wow.
How do we do this?
Wow.
So don't worry.
Technology will do it.
Yes, but now they've advised me that maybe before I come on air, I should like take a coat of black paint and just make myself look dark a bit.
No, don't do that. Don't spoil that beauty. Shut up, baby.
The same beauty that I admire. You want to use color, charcoal, you want to spoil the skin.
You now want to darken yourself.
No, so that
would be happy with
it too. Well.
No, so that we don't make you look too dark. So we can balance it out.
The way you're attacking her, I don't like it.
Sorry.
I take an obsession to
she's
I'm telling you, she's so beautiful like this.
Attacking my color.
Yes. Black is gold, Black is beauty.
You know what I would do? Before we come on air, I will rub my skin on your skin.
So that you'll be a bit lighter.
Yeah. All right, so welcome once again. On a more serious note, there's this case as it's becoming something else, one too many. And I'm beginning to ask myself, what is going on? Where are we getting it wrong? What is this issue with fathers molesting their daughters? Fathers!
I think the word molesting is too big. Look for something more simple that a common man will just understand.
Sleeping
better
with the daughter.
That's the word.
And the fathers are supposed to be the protectors of these children.
I think few weeks ago we talked about it. Before we've been talking about this thing, and I think I sang one song one time like that.
Yes, these are my private parts.
Private parts. And the end part says, if you touch my private parts,
I'll tell my daddy, I'll tell my mommy.
Now the thing is, who should we tell?
Now,
if our daddies are doing this to our daughter, and our daughter cannot even speak up because they are scared. They're afraid that this is someone that is supposed to protect them, and the person is not protecting them.
And the fact that the father started indulging her in such a young age, at 3 years old.
Especially with this story we're looking
at. At 3 years old.
Years.
So you could tell that she would not even know what is wrong from what is right. Because at that moment, you introduce that to something. She would feel it is the norm.
Yes.
So how do you now tell that child that this thing is not the normal thing? Because, the child 1, 2, 3 years old, that's still the time where they are still developing. Exactly. They are learning things. They are knowing the good from the bad. Yes. Now, if you are telling them this is what it is, then that is what they are going to grow with.
It makes me want to wonder where her mother is
in all of this.
In all of this. So for the past since the age of 3,
and now she's
now
15.
So she couldn't suspect.
Now she's pregnant.
Smell anything fishy between the two of them.
In the story we are looking at right now, they made mention of the mother in no place. So I don't know. Is it that he's raising the child alone? Because I'm sure if the mother was involved, there will be a place where they would say, oh, the mother this or the mother that. So I think maybe he's raising the child alone. Because even the people that drew the attention to the police and to the community dwellers is a neighbor. That, this child is pregnant. Maybe they investigated what happened, how did you get pregnant, and then she told them that, oh, it's her father. And I guess that was when the man took it up and said, it's even a man that took it up. So you can see that this thing is wrong. A father is supposed to be protecting their child. We've seen cases where people will tell you, my daddy is too protective. He doesn't even allow me go out. Yes. That is what a father should do. Your child, your daughter should see you as a protector.
Know how you protecting the child. It's not like my father is too protective and inside the house you're molesting the child. So you don't have to have this mindset that my father is protecting me, my father is protecting me. Don't talk to guys, don't talk to boys.
Is he keeping
you for himself? Is he being jealous when others talk to you? Or he's protecting you for real?
This is something a lot of girls need to know.
Really need
Just because he's your father does not mean your father should not knock before coming to your room.
Exactly.
Just because he's your father does not mean he should touch you inappropriately. Just because he's your father does not mean when you are in the bathroom he can say, oh, I want to quickly pick my toothbrush. Your father should give you privacy. Yes, there was a time you are his child, and there were a time you were still like in your toddler where he was taking care of you, bathing you, nurturing you. But now you are a teenager. There should be boundaries. What you should know is what he shouldn't do is what he shouldn't do. We should not say, oh, because he's my father, I can dress up when my father is.
Yes.
No. Your father should know better. Even if the child doesn't, the father should know better that when I have a teenage child, she should not be... There are some things that I don't have with her anymore. Yes, if it's your mother, we understand. Same applies to mother and son.
And son, yes.
Just because, yes, there was a time in the son's life where you bathe him and you take care of him. But now your son is a teenager. You don't go into your son's room. You knock.
Okay,
when
now,
he's bathing, you don't go there.
At what age should we now educate our children of this sexual thing?
From the womb,
they might not really understand it from that.
No, we just mean that you need to
if we are having children being molested at the age of 3 that are innocent and don't know these things.
They would know. I'll tell you something.
That is why schools are also more involved in things like this. The song you came up with was the composed
for children,
in the school. So you think they will understand what you are saying?
Once they enter the school, you started. So you as a parent, you as a mother, you should start talking to that child from the womb.
Educating the child.
Let the child know that this is not
right. It's not right.
My father doesn't have the right, not just my father, any male.
Your uncle, even your brother.
Yes, your brother, your uncle, your cousin.
Those at
home, yes.
You know, you need to keep educating them. Let them know and make sure that your children or your girl child, even the boy child, is free with you.
To come to you and discuss anything and everything.
So that the moment they start noticing things like this, they are able to tell you, mommy, they will say it innocently.
It reminds me, I used to be, when I was a teacher, I had this small guy and a girl. You know, the girl went to report to her. I think the child, she should be about 3-4, went to report to the mother that my classmates slapped my bum bum. So the mother came. Who is that child that slapped my daughter's bum bum? I was like, who is this person? You know, she was like, maybe state partner, that she reported someone slapped her bum bum. That is it. You know, at that age, she's already aware that someone slapped her bum bum and she ought to report to her parents.
And that's the function of what the mother had done or thought her at home.
Yes.
So you see where we talk about
I was even surprised, like, how did she even get this awareness?
She may not know that,
someone
it is
slapped
bad,
my bum bum.
But she just know that when someone touched my bum bum, I should tell my mommy.
Yes.
She does not know that.
That's the education.
She doesn't know the implication.
That's the education the mother has instilled inside of her. So she is aware of it already.
That, someone is not supposed to tap my bum bum. Someone is not supposed to touch me here. So that's why we said, even if it's a 2-year-old child, keep telling them, they should not touch your bum bum, oh, they should not touch you here, they should not touch you here. They may not know the implication of these things, but the fact that you keep telling them these things, when these things happen, they will tell you that, somebody touched, even if it is jokingly, they'll come and tell you, somebody touched my bum bum today. I remember that even growing up as a child, then my mom would tell me, don't let anybody do this, don't let anybody do that.
Oh, it used to be, don't let anybody see your pants.
You understand?
You can't climb a tree, you can't climb any high thing.
Children don't know anything, but there have been cases where you see little children, they wear sanitary pads to school. How did they know? They used to see mommy do it. So when they were dressing up and coming to school,
some will even carry your bra
and wear it and
wear it.
So they see these things. So you will feel like your child, you think, oh, I should not tell her, she's too young. She's not young. She may not know the implication, but when you tell her, don't do this thing, why do you think children, when you tell them, don't touch that thing, they don't touch it, even though they are 1, even though they are 2? So if they cannot know what to touch and what not to touch, then if you also tell them, don't let someone touch you here, they would know that, oh, somebody should not touch me here, even if they don't know the implications.
Yeah, another thing is dressing in front of your children.
Yes, that has
or undressing in front of your children.
A long time.
It's not
a lot of
supposed to.
people don't know. At what age do you stop dressing in front of your
children? Yes.
The man in front of the girl. Someone gave me an example recently who talked about the fact that it was on one of our radio program. Okay. I think that's our producer. She said a caller called in because she was talking about the girl child in commemoration of the International Day of the Girl Child and all that. And the caller called in and said, "See, I can relate with what you're saying. I beat my child, I beat my daughter, but I notice, and sometimes I dress in front of her and all that. But I notice each time I'm dressing, she wants to play with my scooter. You know, she wants to touch it. She wants, so it's a small child. You know, she might just say
innocently,
innocently, like, oh, I want to touch it, and that was where he put the full stop. Like, no, this can't continue. If she's that before she continue to think is the right thing to do, and then she'll go out to do it. Exactly, and start touching people's penis and all that. So he had to stop dressing in front of her.
You don't know which one she will go touch. We go lead her into trouble.
You know, we mentioned the fact that the mom is absent in all of this.
Yes.
Like we didn't know. This child didn't have a mother to put her right, to start talking to her from that very young age. So when the father started penetrating her, she just saw it as a normal thing. Like, probably that's the right thing to do.
Yes, that's how it should be.
Possibly.
But then 3 years old, the father.
Come on, do we have to wait?
The father
till she
needs
gets
to be
pregnant?
checked mentally.
I'm sorry. At this point, someone will say that man should be gunned down. What is it?
At 3.
There are girls out there. So, by adventure, maybe the wife is late or something. You don't have a wife. There are women.
There's a law guiding this that you don't pay for sexual activities.
Yes, and I like
it's
the
illegal.
fact that Ondo State, the VAP law in Ondo State has been domesticated, and they are really. He won't go free.
He shouldn't.
In Ondo State,
he shouldn't.
He won't. I know. Our law is strong here. It won't happen.
Anyway, can we just shift a little?
All right, yes, let's move a little to where.
So I just learned that I can actually bear my name, my own name, my maiden name, without attaching my husband's name.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it has always been there, but it's more of the cultural norms that makes women to change their names to their husband's name.
But it's not in the law.
In the law,
it's not legal. It's not legal that you should change your name to your husband's name.
Yes, it's not legally mandatory.
It's not mandatory.
Yes, so it's optional. But I think a lot of people feel like once you're married, you have to change to your husband's name.
Yes, I think someone said something that should the man pay bride price. If you don't want to change the name, then remain single.
What makes you married is not the name changing. No. It's the marriage certificate. If you like, you change your name from Oyemba Ajo to Akindele. If you don't have a marriage certificate to show that you are married, you are not married.
People were never married legally. They are bearing the husband's name.
Yes.
That's another thing.
They're bearing the husband's name.
Some people, because of this, we dogmatic believe that you have to change your husband's name. Some who have made their names, you know, the popular ones.
How do you
like
change
like
it?
you know,
Yes.
$10
Exactly.
you know, a lot of
Refuse.
people,
You know, she changed her name
immediately.
Yes, she did.
And a lot of people were like, why
even-
would you
even
remove
that
it? Do you know
would
where
take-
do you know where $10 do you know the doors $10 would open
Even
for you?
that is eventually like, oh,
Do you know the name?
That's maintain your
Immediately
did.
she
She
got married,
changed.
she changed
She
it.
changed.
It's
Like,
optional. It's a choice.
But why we are bringing it up is that a lot of people don't know it's a choice.
They feel it's
Yes.
mandatory.
A lot of people
In
don't
fact,
know.
the men will get angry with you that
You
not
must change
to
the
their
name to their name, yes.
Some that you even still bear your husband's name and had their father's
They
name.
get
they
angry
still
about
get
it.
Still is, so if it's not something that is mandatory by law, that means you're free.
Yes.
I read a post yesterday
To pick
where
which
a
name.
lady
And
was
then the
complaining that it took her time to change to her husband's name because the husband name is very funny.
Yeah.
You know, all these Longinus, Polycarp, Okoragbo.
I've seen people that say that they refuse to get married to some certain people because
Because
just
of
was
their
like,
funny
the
names.
are not sweet. Say,
Yes.
imagine how can I be answering Mrs. This? That name is not sweet at all. And because of that, they refuse to get married to some certain
Yes.
men. But I find it really funny.
It's funny.
But I guess now that they know it's optional, it's not mandatory. You can still bear your name, and if you like the man or love the man, regardless of his name.
I just hope this will not open door for some men to start saying, no, if you don't, so you are breaking the law.
Which
this
law?
marriage will not hold.
Which law?
Now you
It's
I
know.
hope
just-
some women
it's more of a
don't
cultural
overuse
norm.
this
I
too.
just now know that the fact that I took up your name is out of love for
Out of
you.
love.
It's her
Out of the
choice.
fact that I
Her
decided
rule.
to say, I
Yes.
want to identify with you as my husband. I want to bear your name. It's not a dundon. It's not a by force. It's not mandatory. All right. Let's now take a break. We'll be going after the break. We'll come back as we take our newspaper headlines, and of course, you know that we have our focal point for today and our trending stories. Please do stick around. We'll be back. All right, welcome back. Isisa, lead us on the newspaper headlines we have today.
Okay, so moving straight to the newspaper headlines, coming from the Punch, we have this saying, Tinubu may drop controversial names from pardon list. Economies, and Nigerian was not mentioned. That's on page 29 of the Punch. Abu returns OT led LP faction over infighting. That's on page 7. Military declares war on new terror group. That's on page 43 of the Punch. PDP crisis, court freezes convention plan. That's on page 43. The INEC to review lecturers' roles as Senate confirms Amukwiton. Arch. Arabia slashes Nigerian scam slot to 67,000. Man burns else girlfriend inside Oyo barrack. That's on page 4 and 6. Bandits kill 5 policemen, 3 guards in Zamfara. That's on page 42, and that's the last story we have from the Punch.
Okay, moving on to Nigerian Tribune. We have my agenda for INEC Amukwiton. That's on page 3. Presidential prerogative of mercy at review stage, not final, AGF. That's on page 6. Rivers government cancels 134 billion naira secretary reconstruction contract awarded by IBAS. That's on page 3. Withheld Oshun local government funds. State AG can sue on behalf of LG. Abuja court rules. That's on page 4. Nnamdi Kanu's ailments not life-threatening, fit to stand trial. NMA tells courts. You can find that on page 22. Kogi government raised bandits camp. Reduces Nigerian slots to 66,910. That's on page 9. PDP unshaken by defections, ready for landmark. That's on page 5.
I kind of like that. Unshaken by the defection.
Yes, unshaken.
Their heart's strong.
It's strong. It'd be like fufu.
They are standing their ground to
Are
say,
we sure they are
there.
not unshaken?
That's
It's
another
possible
question.
that they are even afraid, but they are trying
You know,
to keep
something
this
exactly.
bold face
face.
and all that. Yes.
Because they should be shaken. Because
They should.
imagine, do you know how many states now is being ruled by all progressive APC?
Yes.
And how many states now is left with just PDP governors? So of course they know they are just only saying they are not they are unshaken, but we know that they are shivering.
It's inside their hearts.
They are
Live and they
shivering.
feel
They are
them.
shivering.
Okay, the final one. Ekiti has enjoyed
All right, so let's take the Vanguard newspaper, and I'll be starting with this headline. We want to be having a lot of court cases, tribunal after elections, and you just, congratulate the winner.
I think our
Like,
expectation
accept
for him
defeat,
is
like,
high.
Good luck Jonathan
Did, yeah.
in his time. It's not all election matters that must end in court and all that. So we look forward to that time.
In as much as we look forward to that, we should know that it is not entirely in Amukwiton's hand. It is on the political aspirants' hands. Just like you said, Good Luck did that, but how many of them can actually do what Good Luck did?
Yes.
So I think it's more of the person and not even about the institution or the system or who the present INEC chairman is right now.
That's
So
another
it has
one.
to do with the person itself, because there are some people that they will never say no to defeat. There are some people that in fact it's in them to constantly go to the court to
Exactly.
appeal and say no, I feel like there were irregularities. So those kind
They
of
will
people,
always bring up things to
something,
let people believe
yes,
that something
happened.
They refuse to
Accept
people who-
defeat.
Yes,
It's
who will
honorable to
never-
accept defeat sometimes.
A lot of people don't. All right, let's move on. Why we've not released inmates pardoned by F. Suicide takes center stage as Vanguard's third mental health summit holds today. That's on page 2 of the Vanguard, page 7, I beg your pardon, of the Vanguard newspaper. Presidential pardon. Macaulay shouldn't have been lumped with ex-convicts. That's coming from Macaulay's family. And they are saying he is an honorable person, so why is he being pardoned along with criminals, ex-convicts, according to. You can find the details on page 10 of that newspaper. Okay, moving ahead. Rivers revokes 134 billion naira contract awarded by IBAS. Others refund. That's on page 12. Me first no say many things that still come up for this Rivers wahala. Now that the governor is back.
It's back, yes.
Right. 2027, APC moles have taken over INC. Scribe cries out. That's on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. And for sports, 2026 World Cup playoffs, 14 billion naira windfall from FIFA awaits NFF. If you want to know what the if is, please go to page 30 of the Vanguard newspaper to know what that if is. That if is a long one, so let's say, okay.
Okay. Yes, from this day newspaper, we have this saying: presidential pardon still under review. No convict released yet. And says governor taking final look or at the least for remedial purposes. Appreciate citizens' vigilance, constructive feedback. Then we also have over $1 billion private sector investment mobilized to boost CNG adoption. That's on page 18 of this day newspaper. Senate confirms Amukpiton as INEC chairman. Okay, that's still on this day. Presentation of 2 books by Dakuku Peterside in Lagos. I think that's all we have from this day newspaper.
Okay, moving on to the Nation newspaper. INEC chair Amukpiton, I will confront poll logistics crisis. NMA, Kanu's ailment not life-threatening. Can find that on page 2. Senate steps down Electoral Act Bill for wider consultation. That's on page 6, still on page 6. NBA, police to jointly review tinted glass permits. That's on page 4. Presidential clemency list still under review, says AGF. That's still on page 4. Court fixes month to hear suit on PDP convention. CNG attracts $1 billion investments. That's on page 7. FCT Minister Wike shows jabs at Peter Obi. That's on page 2 of the Nation newspaper.
All right, that's all we have on our newspaper review this morning. We'll quickly take a break. When we come back, we'll go to our focus for the day, which is the federal government's review on tertiary institutions admission. So we'll have a guest that will be joining us on the program. Just stick around, go nowhere. Perspectives return. Perspectives on OSRC television. While we await the arrival of our guest, as I said earlier, we'll be looking at the federal government reviews on tertiary institutions admission policy. And we're expecting our guest, who is an educationist, who is a former director with the Ministry of Education and a retired principal of renowned King's College, Lagos. While we are waiting his arrival, we'll look at a lot of things have been happening in the education sector. Policies and policies, reviews and reviews. Recently, the news broke out that English language will no longer mathematics will no longer be required for art students and social science students. For WAEC, before now they were saying
yes, have English and maths
credits in both English and maths. But now they are saying for English for art students, mathematics is no longer a requirement for admission when you are writing
WAEC or JAM.
All right. Also, more of this. We'll be looking at this and many more issues that the WAEC is, the federal government rather, is bringing up as far as education in Nigeria is concerned. And of course, right now we have our guest in the studio in person of Otumba Oladele Olakweju, an educationist, a former director with the Ministry of Education, and a retired principal of renowned King's College, Lagos, where we'll be looking at the federal government's reviews on tertiary institutions admission policy. It's nice having you join us on Perspectives once again.
Good morning, viewers and blessed Amani among women.
How do you? You are
Good morning
indeed blessed.
to you.
Good morning.
You are indeed blessed.
You look
And
amazing, as
Okay,
always.
thank you.
You know you are not Otumba.
Yes.
Otumba.
So I can have a bevy of.
All right, Dr. Olakweju, thank you for joining us on Perspective. So to begin, could you help us understand what this new review of tertiary institutions admission policy by the federal government is all about?
Yes, viewers, I think I want to first of all apologize to many candidates who have been deprived of admission to tertiary education because of this lopsided and unorthodox policy of forcing art students or humanities students to have a credit as it were in mathematics. I think if you look at it, I want to pose some questions. Chikeobi is known to be one of the best in mathematics in those days. I don't know whether he was so erudite in English language or some of the subjects of humanities. I think it's a policy whose time has come for reversal, because I recall that you don't have to be a lawyer, a good lawyer. You don't have to be the best of mathematicians, because law is not about working arithmetic or algebra. Law is about the logical sequence of things and so on. The best judges in this world are not good mathematicians.
Yes.
So I think it is a right policy to be reversed. That is the reversal allowing our students who don't have mathematics to go for higher education is one of the best things that has happened to this administration.
But I think mathematics should be like a basic for like secondary school students, for example. They should have knowledge of maths. Now we know that they don't need it when they go for tertiary institutions, maybe for law, or they are going for mass communication. But I think it's something they should have a background knowledge on. So I don't think it's actually a good thing that it was scrapped.
You might think it is not. They still have the background knowledge from primary to the point of writing WAEC. They are going to have to do maths in school. And like him rightly mentioned, as a lawyer, you don't need maths. As a media personnel, I don't need to have mathematics. And I like the fact that you started by apologizing.
Apologize, yes. I
Because
think we learned to.
true, sir. I did like it myself. I wasn't a good math student in school. In fact, it got to a point that I didn't even like my math teacher. When she's coming to the class and bailing out.
Funny enough, they don't miss classes. They're
I-
always
that's
there.
my sense.
They
But
don't miss classes.
Seriously, it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with what I'm doing today. And the knowledge you're talking about, you started it. You from your primary school to you have it. It's simple, all the simple algebra. You know if you do them.
Now, I think even you panelists here don't even know what you call education. Fafunwa, late Professor Fafunwa, has defined education as what remains with you after everything that you have done in school has been removed. I'm sure that those of you who do baking, use baking powder or whatever, it's the product of that baking powder that matters to you, not the ingredients and so on. And then the fact that you don't have a credit in mathematics doesn't mean that you don't have a background of mathematics. I'm sure that if we want to have the best lawyers in this world want to do mathematics, then they can apply. They can employ an accountant to do the calculations for them, in terms of their legacies and their stock. So I think it's a good policy. It will assist those brilliant Nigerians who are candidates who will have rather become a Troika of the future in terms of their aptitude towards English and literary works. And then, for instance, Yoruba, you want to study Yoruba in the university or Igbo language, and you don't have mathematics, and maths is a problem.
And you're the bad of getting admission because you didn't have mathematics as an
Igbo language student.
How they take correlate?
It's I think it's a misnomer. It's a misdirection.
At least the good thing is we'll have a background knowledge of it. It's not taking it away totally.
In your curriculum.
Yes. But we'll still have a background knowledge, because I don't know what we teach our children if it's totally out, from the book. Children that comes home with homework, teachers and all that, how do they educate this young one if it's totally out?
And I must ask, must everybody go to the university? Considering what the Minister of Education said, that this move of removing mathematics as a requirement for our students will increase access to university education. But is this about, increasing access to education, or it's more about increasing quota in education? You know that we have some states that is
I understand.
Less developed states and all that. You think is it everybody who passed through the primary education, secondary education, most of them don't even go to university?
Yes, I think if you know the index of development, when you talk of developed worlds, most of them who are developed have increased enrollment into tertiary education. For instance, even in the US, for instance, today, if you compare the US with Nigeria, I think we have more graduates, more access to tertiary education per population than the US. So, it is a sign of developed worlds like Singapore, like or UK and so on. Most of them have their manpower already accessing tertiary education. You see, it's not about wealth. It's about the knowledge you acquire. If you see a normal graduate that did not do Yahoo in school and so on, the way he will manage his own business, even if it is fashion designing, a graduate will manage his own fashion designing factory or whatever better than somebody who hardly had the tertiary education knowledge. So it's the knowledge you acquire that you apply to your business.
Okay, and now let me ask this: I like the fact that you even mentioned the issue of the fashion designer.
Okay.
Yes, and if you go to school, you do it better. We're talking about education policies that the government has done in recent times. We have the issue of CBT now, WAEC. We have the issue of the fact that the subjects in school have been reduced. We have the fact that there are some trade subjects you now have
Entrepreneurship.
to do. Yes, entrepreneurship that you now have to do.
And then the latest.
And the latest is the removal of mathematics.
That's not the latest.
Oh, the latest.
The latest is that JAMB is no longer compulsory
okay,
for.
Yes,
for
I saw it
yes,
this
you know,
morning.
that you know. Yes, you know.
So for us here, we need to verify things to know that is it real or is it fake before we bring it on. So how might these policies, all of these policies affect the quality of students admitted into our universities and ultimately the quality of graduates produced?
Well, when we talk of quality of graduates, English, mathematics has never been a barometer for measuring aptitude and quality, of graduates produced. I think, you see, what you now see is that we, in the education sector, is like a sector in progress, work in progress. There are a lot of, because of rapid changes in global reckoning in terms of education, Nigeria must not sit back and then other developed countries move. You see, I am happy that even as much as I wasn't happy with a non-educationist being a minister of education, I've always criticized that one, because you don't send a lawyer to go and man the Ministry of Health, or even a medical doctor to go and man the Ministry of Justice. I believe a professional department, ministry like education, should be manned by an educationist who will not have to have essays and so on before he can reason. But the man is doing fine, and I think maybe he's having very good advisors. The fact that we will now rejig our curriculum, do so many things at the same time, means that we have been sleeping so much in Nigeria. For instance, nobody, even the faculty of law now, in UNILAG, you have to have a credit in maths before you become a student in the faculty of law. That's not right. Now that the government has now said no, I'm sure that other universities and so on will comply with the directive of government. Meanwhile, there are some of these directives that need legislative backing. I'm sure that the National Assembly, the rubber stamp National Assembly that we have, should now think better and then remove the rubber stamp and then think very well and allow good reason to prevail.
Okay, I have a small question.
Yes.
Will arts and humanities students be at a disadvantage when competing with students from other countries?
How?
Like
Other countries, these are some of the policies that apply in other countries.
Exactly.
Nigeria is just too Catholic than Pope. Nigeria is being too Catholic than Pope. In Finland, for instance. So there are so many countries that have even removed this testing, examination, consciousness, and so on. You remember in one of my programs here, I said Nigeria is too over-examined in terms of the school curriculum. That if a final year student in SS3 would have to write a first-time exam, pre-jump,
yes.
mock, post-jump, and then finally the WASE and NECO. NECO. And NECO, yes. So I think we are now learning to also do the best practices, global best practices.
So
now
you're saying that Nigeria is taking lessons from the
best practices,
other
global
countries,
best practices.
looking at their models to actually, because like he said, he mentioned Finland. In the developed countries, there's no so much rigidity when it comes to
examinations.
Theory. They develop according to talents, according to what they are able to. They develop their people. But in Nigeria, it's now who read. Even if you know read, so far you pass. Now you know book, but it shouldn't be, because we have a lot of areas that we can tap into, talent that needs to be developed from the cradle.
Yes, and I think what we are learning is that It's not even about the curriculum changes. We are experiencing a lot of changes in global, and Nigeria must not be static. Nigeria must be able to adapt to global best practices and changes. So I think this is the first time I will say that the Education Ministry is being receptive to changes around them, changes around them, and I think I give kudos to the.
Okay, let me now ask this funny question. Don't you think now the art students and humanities will be looked down one way or the other?
Exactly.
Because one, they are taking maths away, but we are not taking English away from the mathematicians who don't even really need to be a good English speaker, or from an engineer who deals with equipment and all that. Is it going to speak English to the take for instance in our media world where you to the transmitter? It is the practical that really matters. Will there be a kind of
before now they already look down on the art students
like
they're not serious.
Who does?
People do
no,
that.
Listen, please.
Some people believe that.
You people are women. No, wait.
The science classes.
You women are very emotional about these things. Can anybody compare the achievement of someone like Shoyinka? Shoyinka had a third class in UI. My friend, Femfalan had a third class in law in Faculty of Law in Ife, and today he's one of the best senior advocates of Nigeria in the world. So it's not about learning achievement and then some of these skilled, and then sometimes you are even victimized because of your position. I'm sure that the likes of Shoyinka, because of their non-conformist behavior, might have suffered some downmarking by their professors. So it's not about perception of somebody. You are a brilliant student because you are a science student. No, it doesn't make sense here.
But that's the problem.
William Shakespeare wrote 39 books or whatever. He never, we don't have the record that he was the best mathematician before him.
But that's our problem here. It takes me to the case of a lady who had high score in JAM.
Yes.
And said she wanted to be a teacher.
Yes, and they said
saying,
the perception is why?
Yes.
Of course, it's only for instance, the best paid public workers in Finland are teachers. I once led a delegation. I was a member of a delegation to Botswana to go and discuss about the educational system. In Botswana, in the professional cadre of education, the quality assurance personnel, that is the inspectors and so on, are the best paid. But in Nigeria, if you have anybody who you don't want to see his face, you send him to inspectorate. So many things will change when we now embrace global best practices. So we don't need to let people look down on you, but maybe be the best of whatever you are doing.
Speaking of change, what are the resources that will be allocated to support the implementation of this policy?
Of course, it's only the law that will change. We don't need, for instance, now I think, and I think that is why the impact of this practice is the people I have apologized to. There might be some future intelligent icons who might have been denied of admission to the universities, and maybe it's only one or two. The parable of the lost sheep, only one was lost and 99 was left. So maybe we are looking for a wizard, a whiz kid that has been denied admission into the university because of mathematics. That one has now gotten a reprieve from government, and then maybe in future, maybe we will not be alive by that time, we might see Nobel laureates in peace, in humanities. For instance, now, since Soyinka had it almost about 30 years ago, no African has had it.
Exactly.
We need more. We need more literary gurus. We need more people to go to the United States and dribble them with English. English is a language of communication. Mathematics is not a language of communication. It's a language of calculations. So if you need to calculate, employ the best mathematicians.
I can do that for
I
you.
can do that for you. That makes it good.
All right. So, from your experience in the Ministry of Education, what challenges do you foresee in implementing this policy? Do you think there are challenges that might arise from this?
I think the first challenge is what you have raised, the mindset.
Yes.
The mindset, the average Nigerian mindset that somebody who is in humanities is not intelligent. That's why he's chosen.
Exactly.
That's the first thing about mindset. And two, people who have attitudinal challenges. Before we go get the whole hog of people being admitted into universities without mathematics, I think the attitude has to change by, from the administrators, the registrars, the JAM people, and so on, before it now drops down to the final implementation level. But I think this is a very good policy. I support it. I give kudos to the federal government. If there's anything I have supported with this government, this is one of them. And I think kudos to them.
With this policy, a lot of people will go into arts and humanities.
Okay, let me tell you.
Because the removal of mathematics is, the fear of mathematics will make a lot of people want to, dodge some certain courses. So now that this has been removed, it has given them this relief, to venture into any art courses at all.
No, let me tell you from my own personal experience. By the time I was entering IFE in 1977, my friend who we went to school together, that's late Dr. Okay. We went to IFE. He was admitted for law. And that was before JAM, but anyway. But later on, he got admitted to Unilag to read medicine. Because he was not an average student, he was a very good student, who could move from English, from humanities to arts. I also moved from I was having my diploma I had my diploma in agriculture, but my father said, go and read English, because I know I want a graduate of English. And that was how I moved from science to read English. So I think it's not about versatility of a student or whatever, does not depend on how well you can calculate.
Yes.
But it's about the application of knowledge after you must have left school.
I had a coursemate back then that she wanted to study in English, but because of literature in English, she was unable to study English. So, is there any way we can actually...
She wants to extend the policy to literature, to English studies without literature.
Okay, so let's look at the future. What are the potential long-term benefits and throwback of making mathematics optional for arts and humanities students?
You see, the word is not optional. The word is listen. The fact that you don't have to have a credit.
You don't have to have it.
In mathematics.
So if you have a pass,
even if you don't have a pass, if you have the
F.
if you have the knowledge of mathematics, of course, mathematics is about angles, about rectangles, and so on. You need it in later life. You need it in calculation of even your business. So they go to school, they don't know how to.
There's a difference between calculating money and calculating numbers.
Now, you have it. Our market women didn't go for mathematics in school, but they know they know the economics of hoarding.
Yes.
How to keep some of this stuff when the price is low, and then that this is basic economics.
All right, we can go on and on, but we need to take a break now. We'll still have Otumba with us. When we come back, we want to open the line for people to also contribute. They might want to ask him one or two questions before we go to the next part of the show. But now we are heading to the newsroom for Developing Stories. Please stick around.
made this known in Lagos at a lecture by the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN. The president noted that preliminary studies showed that such a campaign could boost the manufacturing sector by up to 6% and create over 500,000 jobs within the next 3 years. According to him, the campaign aims to shift national demand towards Nigerian products that meet global quality standards, while also addressing the country's import dependency. He said his administration would continue to prioritize the growth of Nigeria's manufacturing sector through policies promoting production, consumption, and export of made-in-Nigeria goods. Tinubu urged MAN members to uphold quality and transparency in production while collaborating with government agencies to share accurate data on capacity and pricing for effective policy planning. The latest data from the Global Hunger Index, GHI, has ranked Nigeria 115th out of 123 countries, with hunger score indicators showing a severe food security crisis driven by a high poverty rate, high inflation, and insecurity. The GHI Index is anchored on comprehensive measurement and tracking of hunger ratings at global, regional, and national levels based on 4 component indicators, including undernourishment, child stunting, child wasting, and child mortality. Citing the negative implications of the latest ranking for food security in Nigeria, the country representative of Promcom Plus Nigeria, Dr. Adiyode, expressed concern that the situation may worsen, considering that over 31.8 million Nigerians are already suffering from acute food insecurity. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Abubakar Yusuf, on his part disclosed efforts by the Kano State government to reverse the worsening state of malnutrition in the state through the reactivation of over 65 centers for malnutrition treatment for the detection and management of nutritional deficiencies. Yusuf said the government has released over 1 billion naira as counterpart funding to support ready-to-serve nutrient foods and their management to reduce the disturbing rate of stunted children in Kano State. Talking education, the federal government has dismissed reports circulating online that the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB is no longer required for admission into tertiary institutions in the country. Some viral online posts had claimed that the federal government had abolished the use of JAMB for admissions into universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, and that individual institutions would henceforth conduct their own entrance examination. In a statement by the Ministry of Education, the Minister Tunji Alausa described the claim as false, baseless, noting that the viral post did not originate from the ministry. He reaffirmed that JAMB remains the statutory and legally empowered body responsible for conducting entrance examinations and coordinating admissions into all tertiary institutions across the country. The minister added that the established admission processes through JAMB remain fully operational and any contrary information should be disregarded in its entirety. Meanwhile, the federal government has announced a new policy to institutionalize the teaching and learning of sign language in all basic education schools across Nigeria, as part of efforts to promote inclusive education and ensure that no child is left behind. The Executive Secretary of the Universal Basic Education Commission, Aisha Garuba, revealed this during the commemoration of the 2025 International Day of the Girl Child in Abuja. Garuba said the initiative underscores the government's commitment to inclusion, particularly in the education and empowerment of girls, noting that the administration of President Bola Tinubu recognizes education as the great equalizer with inclusion as its backbone. She explained that the new policy would make sign language instruction a compulsory part of the basic education curriculum nationwide, thereby creating communication-friendly learning environments for children with hearing impairments. She added that a policy framework is already in place to institutionalize the teaching and learning of sign language in schools across the country, alongside physical infrastructure upgrades such as ramps and accessibility features for learners with physical disabilities. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, says Saudi authorities have approved 66,910 slots for Nigeria's pilgrims to participate in the 2026 Hajj exercise. The Commission stated that Saudi Arabia reserved the figure on the Nusuk Master portal due to the underutilization of 95,000 slots allocated in the previous year. According to a statement by its Deputy Director of Information and Public Relations, Fatima Usara, the NACON Commissioner of Operations, Anofiu Elebushi, revealed this at a meeting with officials of state pilgrims welfare boards in Abuja. The NACON Commissioner revealed that earlier allocations would also be reversed based on each state's utilization during the 2025 Hajj. On his part, Dr. Saudi Dambola, the board member representing the Ministry of Health in NACON, reiterated Saudi Arabia's strict medical requirements for pilgrims. Dambola emphasized that individuals with organ failure, neurological or psychiatric disorders, and dementia would not be allowed entry into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The Nigeria Police Force (NPF) has secured the conviction of 59 foreign nationals involved in a major international cybercrime syndicate uncovered in Abuja. The Force Public Relations Officer CSP Benjamin Hundeyi in a statement said the latest convictions represent another milestone in the ongoing crackdown on cyber criminals coordinated by the National Cybercrime Center. The suspects were reportedly involved in large-scale internet fraud, sophisticated hacking, and other cyber activities posing serious threats to Nigeria's digital security. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun assured the public that the police would continue to deploy advanced technology, strengthen international partnerships, and uphold rigorous investigative and prosecutorial standards to dismantle organized cybercrime networks. Egbetokun added that the successful conviction sent a strong message to both local and foreign cyber criminals that the force remains resolute in protecting Nigeria's cyberspace. And finally, the Nigeria Defense Headquarters (DHQ) has pledged to pursue and neutralize every terrorist group operating in the country, regardless of the name it gives itself, after reports emerged of a new sect called Wolo Wolo said to be active in Nasarawa State. Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule revealed the emergence of the group during a stakeholders meeting with security agencies in Lafia, describing Wolo Wolo as a splinter faction of Boko Haram that has begun to infiltrate the north-central region. He warned that the group's presence could worsen security in the zone and urged tighter countermeasures. Reacting at a media briefing in Abuja, the DHQ's Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Ganye, said the military would treat all armed outfits as criminal elements, not by the labels they choose, but by the threat they pose. He gave assurances that current operations across the country would include targeting the newly identified Wolo Wolo group to restore peace and security. And that's it on Developing Stories. Many thanks for watching, but stay with us as Perspectives continues.
many thanks for rejoining us. Welcome back to Perspectives on OSRC Television. And we are looking at the federal government's education policies. And we still have our guest in the house, Otumba Oladile Olapejo, an educationist who's been speaking with us about these policies, their effect, and the fact that we need to welcome it with open hands, because as it is, it's like development in that area. But when we started the program, I remember Otumba mentioned the issue of the news making the run about JAM being scrapped.
No.
The federal government has debunked that rumor. They dismissed the report circulating on social media and online that JAM is no longer required. It says that JAM is still the established admission process in Nigeria, and that is the body responsible for conducting entrance examinations and coordinating admissions into all tertiary institutions. That means that is fake news. The government has debunked it. So if you are out there, you've read that news, and you believe that we no longer write JAM will no longer jam me. Like we always say,
JAM is still there.
JAM is still there. Yes, the Minister of Education allows us come out to speak against that. All right.
Okay, yes, sir. With this new development, don't you think students' attitude towards writing their exams now, the preparedness would no longer be there, knowing fully well that they don't even have to make credit for mathematics? And I think this would also promote truancy. When it comes to maths class, now you won't see students anymore in the class. They will probably start littering around the school compound or something. And also, they would not want to do well by writing their exams because they don't need it.
Sir, I don't like it. Is it because I said
I just tired. This is like a Bagbele situation.
It's Bagbele. But then why Otuba is answering the question, we also want you to prepare yourself to call in on the number 0706 325 5428. You might want to ask Otumba one or two questions regarding what we're saying. Do you also think is a good development, especially with the removal of maths not being compulsory as subject for you to have credit on when you write WAEC? So we are welcoming your call 0706 325 5428. So Otumba, over to you.
Now I think we are getting it quite wrong. The fact that I think we have to reinforce the G&C section of the schools, because if you have a vision, as a student, that you are going to be a professor of medicine, and that you need mathematics, you will not be lazing it out around, and that even the best students of mathematics would not want to miss any lesson in mathematics. So it's not about people developing wrong attitudes towards their math teachers and so on. Now, I think much of it is that must you be a good mathematician before you go to the court and defend the case?
No.
Must you be a good mathematician before you write prose or poems, for students to read? No.
Must you be a good mathematician to be a good theater artist?
Or be a journalist, here. The fact that you are speaking Queen's English here does not require mathematics, does it?
No.
Okay, so in fact, for you who are in the news media, I think that's a plus for you.
A really big plus.
Because, that your children who might not have taken to their father's mathematics
a lot of people are getting right to men that have brain,
So your children might now say, okay, just like my mother, read English, I will read English. That of course, so many of the lawyers have their children also embracing law. Yes. So you journalists will now have some of your children coming to do well in spoken English or in Queen's English, like you do here.
It's even a wrong attitude. If you don't run away from other subjects when in school, you don't run away from the class. There's no reason for you to now say because maths is no longer required, you now single out maths and start running away from class during maths. Because it's not just about mathematics and English. You do other subjects in school, which you must also pass.
And that it becomes laughable anyway. I'm sorry to say this. are those, those results that you churn out every year, are they actually really?
Are they real? That's
Because
question.
the best subject to cheat on is mathematics. Because already the answers are there, and you just, for instance, the OBJ, you have the answers and so on. But
that's
in English, you have to write a good essay before
you have to think it.
You have to think.
No, but that's for objectives.
Yes.
When it comes to the theory in mathematics, the answers are not there.
No,
You need the formulas.
The answers are on the internet.
In those days, they used to beat us to study maths, to learn maths. But with the fact that it's now optional, not optional per se.
Optional, in terms of credit pass.
Okay, then there's no need of, pursuing us up and down in secondary school and all that again.
No, and then let me tell you this. My son, who is a medical doctor today now, scored a little bit above 200 in his JAMB.
Okay.
Internal told me at IFE that those who scored highly, the 300 whatever, dropped out before they finish for year 4. So the fact that you are even a high scoring student doesn't make you the best. Sometimes you might, the papers might come and might be one of your wrong days. Sometimes the exam might not even be the best way to test your ability.
Exactly.
So there is neither here nor there.
Okay, on a final note, because of our time, as a former principal of King's College and a retired director in the ministry, what advice will you offer to policymakers handling, sensitive educational reforms? We have this. What more do you think they need to do to make education in Nigeria a signature? I mean, we are already copying from the outside world and all that, so that would make it easy.
Yes, I thank you for this question, and I've been agitated about it. Now, policies are not just political statements. For instance, even the basic education curriculum change, the policy that Alausa did, was wrong.
Most schools have not even
was wrong, because before you change a curriculum, it takes some time. So, there are some policies that we can just be like a newspaper advert or whatever, and you read it and it will become implementable. Now, for instance, curriculum. I had a training in Idori recently for a school, and I told them that how many of you know how curriculums are being written and whatever. A teacher in the school does not participate in the curriculum development. How does he implement it? So, for instance, when we're in the Federal Ministry of Education, we have the National Joint Consultative Committee on Education. We also have the National Council on Education. That's the highest decision-making policy. Now, the states attend the policy meetings, but the states don't have structures on ground to bring all their teachers and so on to discussing issues about policy formulation. I challenge, no state has any structure like a JCC of a state where they discuss curriculum, where they discuss education policies. They only rely on the federal government. That's not good enough. So we need to go back to the grassroots.
Yes.
The grassroots must be able to know and contribute to the development of curriculum and all other policies. Let their views be heard and let them be able to contribute. Yes. It's bottom rather than bottom top. So we should reverse it.
It should be reversed. Thank you so very much, Otumba Oladele Olapeju, an educationist and a former director with the Ministry of Education. Thank you for always making yourself available whenever we call on you.
The pleasure is always mine.
All right, I will take a short break now. When we return, it will be time for trending stories. Please go nowhere. We'll be back. into the world of trends. What's trending out there? We'll start with this one that has hit the states, Nigeria, internet, since yesterday. That's the one, Governor Doye Diri of Bayelsa State, who has resigned from the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Diri announced this on Wednesday. On Wednesday at the ESCO chamber in the Bayelsa State Government House. Newsmen in Bayelsa reported that the Speaker of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, that's Right Honorable Abraham Ngobere, along with 18 PDP lawmakers, also tendered their resignation from the opposition party. Governor Diri's exit from the PDP comes barely 24 hours after his defected to the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC), confirming the developments. In a statement, the chief press secretary to the governor, Daniel Alabra, said Diri decided to leave the PDP after extensive consultation.
Still talking on defections.
Yes, sir.
It has gotten to the point that almost all the states now in Nigeria is being governed by APC governors, and I think we have just 8 states now. I think 24 have APC, and now just 8 have PDP. Now, lots of people are coming and they're asking, what is the fate of PDP and what is the fate of 2027 general election?
And there are indications that it's like this is just the beginning. Like we've not
seen the end of this defection.
Yes.
But then I'm still of the opinion that still yet, I keep on saying this thing. You can't come to somebody's house and expect that
and claim ownership.
Now PDP, they are saying that they have crisis in their party, and now they feel like the structures and those goals they want and they find it in APC. Now, do they forget that the people that makes a party, or what makes a party, is the people in it? So if you are defecting, who are you leaving your party for? These are the things that you caused. I feel like instead of defecting, they should try and fix it. Yes. And now with Wike's comment saying that look at all of them, they are defecting, and they were condemning my
yes.
And now I'm like, where does Wike actually stand in all of this? Sometimes I get confused.
I think we should borrow the language they used with
romancing.
Yes, he's romancing.
But this is, I don't even know if I'll call this romancing, because sometimes I get confused. Is Wike in PDP or is Wike in APC? Because I don't really understand the game he's playing. But I feel like he's a strategist and he has his own strategy. But then I still don't believe that APC or by 2027 would have a one-party system of government. It's not going to be possible because we still have ADC, and we have Atiku there.
And there's a no party, APP,
yes, that is just newly formed.
Yes.
I think this week.
I think I've also said in the past that more political parties
are forming.
Mainstream. But it's not. We've always had different political parties. It has never been about PDP, APC, or PDP. We had other parties.
Do you know what makes parties? Do you know what makes a party strong?
Yes.
It's the people in the party.
It's the people in the party.
It's not about the party.
When the people in the party who are supposed to make this party strong are now moving to another party.
But then we still have ADC. We have Atiku.
When last did you?
We may not have heard about them, but with Atiku in ADC and with the history he has had, when we talk about general election, we know that definitely he's not going to come. He's not, even if everybody is defecting to APC. With the kind of aspiration that Atiku have, he would not go back there, knowing that he has no chance.
Now,
exactly.
if we are moving, if they are moving themselves from one party to another, what's the change? What's the guarantee that they will not repeat some errors they have already had or they have already done in the new party? You know, what is that strategy? What's that implementation they are bringing? What's that new development they want to bring into the new party?
Because the truth is, the party you're running to, they have their structure.
They have their structure.
Not like they don't have internal crisis.
They do.
But they know how to
manage
their issues.
To manage
why not,
their
like
issues.
you said earlier, why not try to resolve whatever it is? is it a question of it's more of ego? Everybody wants to be what?
Do you
Nobody
know? I
wants to
don't. I
stand
don't. I
up for
feel. I feel.
everybody.
I feel it's more about political. Should I say personal?
It's a personal thing.
Yes, personal thing.
Your gain. What
What
they
exactly
stand to
political
gain.
gains and what they
Yes,
stand to
that's-
gain? Because I don't feel like it's
not
the
about the
crisis.
people
It's
anymore.
not. Yes, it's not about the people. But then another thing that I know is PDP is one party that I know have actually stand the test of time. Even as a kid,
Can you still
I
say
had
that?
no. They might go through a lot, but I know they will come out from it.
Consistent.
Yes,
Okay.
because you can see for years we've had PDP. Where are those other parties that were like, you know, they started together? So I know that PDP, even though they are kind of looking weak now, but they'll come out from it.
And the fact that they are not only moving as an individual, as a governor, they are moving with their own. Take, for example, Governor Mba of Enugu State, who defected from PDP to APC. A good number of lawmakers across
Yes.
House of Representatives and the Senate have also followed him. Same goes with the Bayelsa State Governor, Diri, who says, I watched his press conference, who says, I'm not living alone. As you can see, everybody with me, we are living together. So it's going to make the party they are living weaker. Because
But then,
they're not
given
living.
what Fintiri said, he said PDP is what unshaken by defections. So let's see,
It
2027
shouldn't be a
is.
word of mouth. Let's be
Let's see the
sincere.
action.
Are they truly, strong to fit for 2027?
But one thing I know
Or
is
they are
it's
already
not going
shaking.
to be a one party. It's not going to be one party.
Definitely it will not be,
Go
because
on
the
that.
strength
Yeah,
is
that
already
is
moving out. The people that has the power, that are who
Who is who?
they are leaving to the other party. So it actually shows weakness, and the APC is.
Because the
getting-
people,
they're
because
stronger,
just
yes.
like I
Like they
said, the people that what makes a party strong is the people in
people.
it. Okay.
Obio has also reacted to this recent high-profile defections to the ruling All Progressives Congress. He said Governor Peter Mba and Bayelsa Governor Diri defections really reflect personal political calculations, not cohesion. He said, and I quote, he said, we are not in a military time when you capture people. So he said, adding that democracy is sustained by persuasion, not by force. So as far as it's concerned, everybody has the right to,
I think that's from Peter Obi,
yes,
Atiku, and others.
Yes.
I think when I saw Atiku there, I was like, even you, we know your history. He's also a king when it comes to
So
defection,
moving.
moving
He's
forth.
moving this
Yeah,
APC
exactly.
now.
So that's why I said when I saw Atiku's name that he's also condemning the defection, I'm like, what are we saying?
But people are asking, a lot of people are asking
Yes.
the fate of PDP now, and what plans do the opposition parties have towards 2027? Do they
It's
have
going to be a
plans?
tough one.
Is there something they
There's
have
something
in their
cooking.
pockets that they need to?
We are
Okay.
still going to see more coalition party coming up.
All right. Let's move ahead. The Senate has confirmed Professor Joash Amukwita as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. After a voice vote conducted by Senate President Godswill Akpabio and after undergoing screening and answering questions posed by the lawmakers. Amukwita had earlier arrived at the National Assembly complex exchanged pleasantries with senators. He was accompanied to the chamber by the governor of Kogi State, Ahmed Ododo, and other dignitaries. Before introducing himself to the senators for the question and answer session to take off, Akpabio disclosed to his colleagues that the nominee had been cleared by the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Department of State Services, and of course the Office of the Inspector General, having done a fingerprint search on him, cleared him and said that he had no criminal records with the police after vetting. So, like some people have said, that it's a man of integrity, he's upright.
Yes, his
and all
record is
that.
clean.
His record is clean, so he has gone through all
I hope
the
he doesn't
process.
bend at the end of the day.
Congratulations to
Position
him.
has a way of making people adjust. I don't want to say move away. Yes,
I won't say it's the position that makes people to tilt or adjust. I would say it's the influence of external bodies.
Yes.
And now we already, I don't want to say this, but in as much as I don't want to say this, I still have to say this. Now, for him to discharge his duty very well, because he said he's even going to audit the irregularities that happened with the 2023 previous election. Now, we already know that he was nominated by someone for that position. And now, this same person is going to come out for election in 2027. Now, we understand how loyalty to some certain people has influenced most people's decision. We can talk about some governors of our state. We've seen how, because of loyalty to some certain people, they tend to get influenced. Their decisions get influenced. Their mandates get influenced. Their agendas get influenced. So how certain are we that, yes, I believe that everybody comes to do something good. They all come like, oh, yes, with good intentions. But how sure are we that external influence would not influence
play a role in this? I like the fact that he has also come out to say, like we read in one of our headlines, that he would be there and he will write his name in gold, and then elections will be conducted where losers congratulate winners, which means he's ready to work. But at the same time, I also see sense in what you're saying, but it won't be the force that has been appointed by a certain president, because it is constitutional.
Yes,
it is
that constitution that I feel should be reviewed.
Based on what you said
should
earlier,
be independent.
Based on what you said earlier, we have a reaction that says, finally, a new INEC chairman who can bring transparency to the electoral process. And I want to say, I hope he will address the issues that plagued previous elections.
Which he said he would do.
Yes, which he said he would do. And I want to say, we will see.
And the IRF.
Yes. We will see if he's truly independent and impartial. So
they are charging him.
People are having high expectations. So if he fails, come on.
And this is going to play a role. We keep talking about voters apathy and all. So this coming election is really going to play a role on how voters would react after this election. Because now, I could tell you that if we really want to check the rate of voters not coming for election, it is really high. Hence why a few months ago they brought a rule that, if you don't come out to vote, you will be sanctioned, you will be penalized, you have some penalties, you pay a fine. Because they know that there is the rate of voters apathy, it is high. So if this 2027 election does not prove itself that, no, Nigeria, we can actually trust the system, we can actually come out and say our vote actually counts, then I don't see us really.
And this election will also prove that he is a man of integrity.
He's a man of integrity.
And his words.
Yes.
And of course, we'll be having pockets of elections before the general elections in 2027. And also, in the news, it seems like election would actually be next year, 2026, November.
Yes.
Because they are saying they want a 6 months period before the actual takeover, where if there's anything like court case or anything, it will have been resolved. So election might actually be in November next year.
But hope we are not now.
This court case, I hope we don't have it again.
Exactly.
We shouldn't have it. It's embarrassing.
No, by the time a loser is congratulating the winner, it means I'm not going to court. So let's see how that plays. And we also hope that the electoral reform, he will look into it, and a lot will be able to do.
And I hope with these changes of moving it from 2027 to 2026 will not be the reason why they would say,
issues.
This is why they were irregularities. It is because
we moved
it. So, well,
we know we'd always find an excuse.
Let's move on because of our time. The federal government has clarified that no inmate has been released under the recent presidential prerogative of mercy exercise, noting that the process is still undergoing final administrative review. Newsmen reported that President Bola Tinubu recently granted a pardon to Sir Herbert Macaulay as following approval by the Council of State. Among the beneficiaries are notable figures such as Ken Saro-Wiwa, the environmental activist, and Major General Maman Vatsa, who was executed in 1986 for alleged coup plot, and the pardon list also includes Mariam Sanda, who was sentenced to death in 2020 for killing her husband, and other inmates whose sentences were commuted or reduced, and ex-convicts deemed eligible by the Presidential Advisory Committee on the Prerogative of Mercy. However, in a statement yesterday, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi SAN, said the exercise remains at the stage of verifying and reviewing the list of beneficiaries before the issuance of formal instruments of release. Fagbemi explained that although the Council of State had approved recommendations for clemency, the final stage requires a detailed review to ensure all names comply with legal and procedural standards. I hope this is not coming after the cry by Nigerians.
It is coming after it. And then my question is this. We already know the level of insecurity in the country. We are still even trying to manage it. In as much as we keep on saying the level of insecurity has been reduced, we know it has not really been reduced. We are still trying to manage it. Now, are we saying that this ex-convict or those people that were convicted and they want to release back into the society, how clean can you say they are? How can you vouch that when these people come out, they are not going to come back and create a menace in the society? We already know that. Right now, we are still battling with insecurity.
Yes.
So now you are releasing the likes of kidnappers, armed robbers, drug lords, murderers, and the rest. So what are you... because right now, I would say a lot of Nigerians are scared. And I think there was a name that came up, Evans. But although I think it has been clarified that no, this is still a list that we are still, nobody's out yet. We are still like trying to build the list and see the people that are cleared. But now imagine even hearing Evans was coming out. Now Evans, for instance, is someone that has touched money. Going into the prison and coming back, you're coming out with nothing. You're starting from zero. Now, do you feel like someone that has touched something would now want to
start from zero?
It's not easy. It takes the grace of God for someone like that not to go back to where it's coming from. It would only be more discreet this time.
This is really, it's not giving Nigeria a good image.
Yes.
Because before now, there have been pardons. And before it is announced, it is something that has been done.
Properly scrutinized.
Everything has been done before you bring it out to the public.
Yes.
Now it's in the public space. Is federal government telling us that
it was not due diligence
before bringing it into the open?
You know, this is the issue.
Under review.
This is the issues. The same thing with the tinted glass permits and all.
Exactly.
Now, before you bring something, is it only when they react, you say, oh, you are going back to the drawing board?
Yes.
I believe that before you bring something out, it should be properly scrutinized, properly sketched out. So you know that, oh, even when Nigerians react, we have something to tell them. It's not when they react, you now go back and withdraw what you said and say, okay, now we want to. Are you trying to tell us that we cannot even trust in you to do the needful?
You're not done with what needs to be done.
Then why publish
it?
Based on what you said earlier about knowing these people, I watched a movie a few days ago where they had tags on their leg. They monitor their movements. They monitor everything they do. You know, who is in charge of these things? Monitoring these people. When they are out, what they are doing, people they are with, friends they are with, families, anybody they are with, the gathering they go to. How do we trust the system that they are going to monitor them and empower them, not just monitoring them, empowering them so that they don't go back
to what? Thank you.
To
I love what you
doing.
just said. You see, most times we as Nigerians, we try to copy and imbibe what other advanced countries are doing. But while doing it, we are not really doing it
accordingly and the way it should
we understand that we will not be the first country to have presidential pardon. But then, are you really taking note of how it is also being done? Yes, it's not about just giving the pardons. Like she said, these people should be monitored. If it's like a 6-month probation period where they are monitored, the occasions, the people they meet with, what are they doing? And also, you talked about empowerment. You remember I said something about Evans. Evans is someone that has touched money. Coming out is coming out with nothing. How do you empower these people? What do they fall back to so that they can be able to stand up by their feet? When you're not empowering them, they will go back to that crime. But you know what? They will be more discreet not to be caught.
Not to be caught.
The law will always
Also, a reaction to that, the government should prioritize justice and fairness in their decision making. Some of those pardons might have deserved a second chance, but the process seemed flawed.
Yes, it's flawed. And that's the process they are going back
Exactly.
to now say...
I think I saw a place that said some names were snuck into the list.
All right, of course, we also know that reaction is coming from Albert Macaulay's family now.
Yes.
Why did they
What if you
release...
must pardon our person?
Yes.
Why must you lump his name with criminals?
Yes,
That's
not
another
good
one.
enough.
All right, moving ahead, a former presidential aide, Reno Omokri, has challenged members of the United States Congress to publicly identify Nigerians allegedly sponsoring terror attacks that have led to claims of genocide against Christians. Mr. Omokri made the call during a press briefing in Abuja on Tuesday, which also featured Mike Arnold, a former mayor of Blanco, Texas, and founder of African Arise International. He faulted a claim insisting that the violent incidents in Nigeria do not constitute genocide against Christians. In a viral post on X, a former Texas mayor, Mike Arnold, publicly accused the former presidential aide, Reno Omokri, of being a pathological liar, saying that Omokri repeatedly deceived and manipulated him. This one, I watched the interview. A lot was being said on some news channel regarding this. And if a foreigner is accusing you and calling you names,
you should be able to come out and stand and say
If
no.
you're saying that it's the issue of Christians being killed in Nigeria is not genocide. We know who Reno is. He's a man who is an activist. He speaks out. He talks on every issue, and quite a lot of people respect him and also believe what he says. But now, if it's known that it's like they're saying that he's lying, a lot of people will start taking to those lies and believe the things he says and all that. I don't know.
One thing about the what's his name?
Reno.
No, not Reno. The American
Arnold.
Mike Arnold. One thing he said he has gone to these states. He has done interviews with the governors of the states, and he said even with the affected people in the communities. Now, so this is someone not just coming based on yes. He's coming based on facts.
He knows facts. He has gotten facts about it.
He's coming based on, he has gathered enough. So this is, I urge Reno Omokri, he should come out and tell them,
debunk.
Yes, and debunk.
Also give his own
side.
Yes, because I think as Nigerians we need that from him too. Because for someone to come and lay such an accusation,
a huge accusation
in your own soil.
Are you not thinking of that word, pathological?
That's the word,
liar.
pathological liar.
It's huge.
It's huge, and I think it's something he should come out.
He needs to come out.
But I think allegedly he responded to them Mike Arnold, maybe via WhatsApp or any social media platform, that he should calm down, he should let it go. I cannot really ascertain that.
Whatever he's saying, that's just
but
to
I feel like this is
other people
come
from
out
the
publicly.
real truth.
This
He should
man
come out
came
to say
out
the
publicly.
thing.
Don't go into his chat and be sending
messaging him
messages. Come out publicly and
doing
say
that
this
will
and this.
make us believe that whatever
There's
Arnold
something
said
fishy.
is true. So he needs to come out to debunk the news. Oh, this person is saying what this person is saying is not true. These are the reason why and all that.
Yes.
He was on a fact-finding mission, and he got his facts to be able to say you're lying about what you said.
Yes.
So you also should bring out your facts.
And let them
Whether
know
it
that.
is a truth, whether
Or
it's
maybe
a truth or it's a lie.
it's
Exactly.
misinterpretation of
Exactly.
information.
Okay, former Abia State Governor and lawmaker Senator Uzo Oji Kalu has raised an alarm over alleged drug use among some Nigerians, claiming that some of then smoke Indian hemp before flying passengers. Kalu made the allegation during Wednesday plenary session of the Senate, where he called on aviation regulators to take immediate action to ensure safety in the sector. He said, and I quote, the authorities that are guiding these pilots, some of them are very lousy. On many occasions, have stopped to fly because of inadequacies of pilots' preparation. Some of the pilots are not prepared. Some of them use Indian hemp. Yes, it is true. Some of them smoke Indian hemp. As in, so he further accused aviation agencies of negligence in monitoring pilots' health and drug use, insisting that there was little to no oversight in place.
And NCAA came out to respond, and they said that that's not true, that their pilots are not under any influence of alcohol or hard drugs. Now, I find that response quite disturbing because I feel when such an allegation is made, what should be said is we would look into it
and not just conclude on it.
Because now you concluding that nothing like that is happening.
To me, it's saving face.
It's more like a saving face. I feel more of what we should be doing is not trying to cover our face. Exactly. We should try and say this would be looking into. It's coming from a senator, someone who once owned an airline, and now is saying that this is happening. So I think this is something that the NCAA should say, oh, we will look into it.
We'll open an investigation.
Few months ago, there was this popular airline where the crew members and the pilot, they went for a drug test, and it came out positive that they were under the influence of alcohol. So now, if we are doing so much to ensure that the passengers are being restricted from taking alcohols into the flight or drinking alcohol or being intoxicated in any form, then the pilots and the crew should also be mandated to go through things like that. So NCAA coming out to say they are not. On what ground did you come at that conclusion?
We shouldn't even look at the pilots, the aircraft alone. What about the drivers? It's, let's start from the small one, the one we are saying, the one that everybody enters before we get to that point. What about the drivers, the keke, the Okada riders? Those people, some of them are influenced.
It's even easy for you to detect as a passenger because when they speak to you,
yes, you would know. But sometimes you don't get one-on-one interaction.
Yeah, so how do you get to know this?
You know how grievous an air accident can be. Sometimes the whole crew on board, the all passengers die. A large number of them.
We've seen cases.
That's why this must be taken serious.
We've seen cases where upon landing, just move aside and say, oh, they are not.
They should launch an investigation to this. Let's know, because people's lives are in their hands. So if they are not able to prevent this or to put this into action, whether they are doing drugs or they are not doing drugs, allegedly, like it is said, then they should consider other options. Exactly. If this person is on drugs, please, someone else should take over. Exactly. And besides, you shouldn't even drive.
They should be clean
before taking off.
Exactly. All right, let's move. Custom officer identified at ASC Lawa Tucher has been found dead under unclear circumstances in a hotel room in Metropolis. The incident, which was revealed on a post on X by security expert Zagazola Makama, occurred on October 15 at Monjani Hotel. According to Makama, hotel staff discovered the officer's lifeless body around 8:30 a.m. after he failed to check out as scheduled. The management immediately raised an alarm. This actually had been in the news for a while, and I'm sure that investigation is going on in that area to actually know what was responsible for his death. And Lance, he was supposed to be, he was to have an appointment the next day, and he wasn't coming out of his hotel room, and then his men moved in only to find his lifeless body.
We have been having issues with hotel insecurity in hotels and all that. I think we should really look into this.
Ongoing in Ondo State
we should really look into
where
it.
One of the customer disappeared.
Because I will not be paying for a service you know, to have my own quiet time. And at the end of the day, I'm coming out hearing news. It's not safe anymore to be you know, stay in a hotel anymore.
You know, that is why there have been questions raised that should CCTV cameras be inside the hotel rooms. But then when we're talking
about Nigerians, if you put CCTV camera
exactly,
inside the room,
so based on
for
privacy purposes, it can't be. So that's why
at least the corridor. Let's know.
Okay.
Who is this person entering with? Did this person come out alone, or he came out with someone?
In this case, he was said to be with three women.
So the three of them should be questioned.
And you know, I don't know what happened behind the scene and what must have led to that death, but a man
maybe that's why an autopsy should be carried out
for us to know. Okay, in drive is trending because a driver got suspended after a lady accused him of faking a car. Tola robbers robbed them at Onipano. The driver has now debunked it to be a lie. Apparently, on Sunday evening, it was ordered a ride from Surulere to Mafoluku Oshodi with our friend charged at 4,800 naira. But along the trip, the driver lied that his car had broken down, sat in the car, refused to drive as thugs robbed Itoan and our friend. Itoan claims the robbers gave them option of getting robbed or settling them with a transfer. All this happened between 8 p.m. to 8:59 p.m. Seeing this report, InDrive immediately suspended the 485 rated driver. That's in person of Shin Oluwatonse, but he has come out to say that is not true.
Okay, he came out to say that's not true, but there's something I also want. If you are booking a ride, there are things you should look out for. Now, according to the report, I think I saw the post earlier, and the girl said the doors of the cars, to open it from the inside, it's broken. Those locks are broken. So it's only someone from outside that can open it. Now, for security purposes, before you even take a cab, ensure that you can open the cars. Ensure that it's not on child lock. Some of them, sometimes you can even see the lock, but can you open it? Try to open first, because yes, we don't know if it is true. He came out now and said it's not true. The girl said that he's working with the talk. We don't know. Investigations will be carried out. But pending that time, while investigations are still being carried out, I've seen lots of cases where people say when they enter a cab, they find out that the locks inside are all broken. That's only the driver's own is working. So the driver would probably be the one to open for you. So for security purposes, those things should also be checked before you get to the
I think these people used to come for a normal regular check on the car, on the vehicle, if it's working properly or not. So why are they not doing that anymore?
Okay, so please, let's move to the next story. A video from Nigeria shows a nanny is trotting a 2-year-old to hold raw chicken and briefly handle a knife while preparing potatoes.
Did I beg you? Did I beg you? Oh yeah, give me that knife. Give it to me. Oh yeah, come and help me and bring potatoes. Yeah, and bring potatoes. Fast. Take. Use this thing and bring potatoes. Fast. Bring potatoes for me. Fast. Fast. Fast now. Be fast about it. Bring 5 potatoes. It's not 6, so it's not 6 that you will bring. You bring 5. You are not bringing 6. It's okay. Mama, bring that one. It's okay. Bring that one. Bring it. Can you carry it? Can you carry it? Ah, thank you. I can bring another one.
I need to know what the issues are. Why is it an issue? It is an interesting one. The nanny, I'm not saying the hard tone they are talking about. I saw a relationship between the nanny and a little child. You know, I saw a child who for me,
Who is
domesticated,
who is
eager
eagerly-
to do something.
Yes.
But then, was
only
there a point where
minors-
they gave the child the knife to hold?
No,
No.
actually, this is what happened. You know, the nanny was inside at first. She had
child was-
prepared
yes.
The chicken,
left the
what
knife
she wanted
there.
to use and left the knife there. So when she came out, she saw the child holding the knife. And she like, who asked you to do it? Did I send you work? And then in trying to take the knife from the child didn't want to drop the knife at first. So she now said, okay, go and get me potatoes there. This is a child
We
of
know,
2 years.
yes,
barely 2
and we know
years.
how children can be.
And the child
And she was happily
immediately-
doing it.
The child immediately
I think
dropped
she
the
would put
knife
in the bowl.
picked the bowl.
Yes, go and
went-
go again.
She was even counting
She
it.
was counting,
1,
She was
2.
ready to work. You could see, and the nanny would say, "Wow, I love you.
Aw,
well
thank
done,
you. Mama, thank
so
you."
I don't see the issue here. Most
It's
mothers,
just because it was done by
You
a
know
nanny.
why?
That's just
Why
the issue.
So
the
people
issue is
raise
coming
eyebrow.
up is because of the
the
knife.
knife, the fact that she left
She left the knife there.
carelessly,
Yes,
and
and
the
a
child-
sharp object.
And some also question the fact that the way she even held the knife, and also the fact that she's asking a child
Did I
to
send
hold
you?
chicken
Okay.
for her so she can cut. I think that's another issue that arose from it, that how can you be telling a child to hold chicken, a 2-year-old child, and the fact that even if the child does that, are you going to wash her hand afterward immediately so she doesn't put the hand in her
yes.
mouth and all that, knowing full well that she's a child? But aside those two issues of maybe she placed the knife and the child
For
held
me,
the knife, the thing
There's
that
no
happened
form
is
of
that
child
There's
abuse.
no
No child
abuse
abuse.
there.
there
Yes.
was actually a
Relationship.
Between
It's
them.
more if nobody told us that it's a nanny, we will assume that's a mother and child
Exactly.
relationship.
All right, our time is far spent on the show today. We can go on and on. That's perspectives for you. We'll return next week after now. My name is Remy Allen, and special thanks to Isosa
Yes.
Bonilari and Sharon Gabriel, the woman with the 2 English names. I don't know if she's from America. We'll meet again next week. Bye.
Bye.